Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PIPCAST, your Pip-Boy supported podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Vault-Tec. Do you love your family? Then you should reserve your vault space before it is too late. My name is Tony Moe, and I am joined by my co-host Kato Genesis for this, our fourth episode of the PIPCAST. We made it to number 4. Not sure why that's significant, but number 4 is here. Actually, that is significant because Fallout 4. That's conspiracy.
It's a month of podcasts, too.
It is a month of podcasts, actually. That is
1 month mark.
That's a big mark. So, not only that, we are down to, what did we decide? It was 37 days to Fallout 4 as well?
Something like that.
We're getting closer every day. It's less than 40 and closer to low 30s, however you want to round it about. Actually, we should make one of those paper chains. Wish I could do like a virtual paper chain.
Oh, yeah.
Cut it on my desk every day.
It's like scary / exciting at the same time.
It is.
Because of the outrageous amount of content we'll both be doing.
It'll be fun content at least, though. That's
oh, yeah, for sure.
Like we said, we could have somebody throwing poo in our face somewhere at a day job. So, none of that. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off with the news, guys. We just got a couple cool announcements, actually. For those of you who are still looking to get your Fallout fix in, Fallout New Vegas, the Autumn Leaves mod, just recently released. We'll have a link to that down in the description below. If you guys are completely unaware of what this mod is a standalone piece of DLC. So really, it doesn't spend too much time trying to tie into the main story for Fallout New Vegas or 3. Kind of does its own thing. The main premise being that back before the bombs dropped, there was a bunch of dudes who were really big about this library. This guy Cartwright actually got trapped inside of the library when the bombs went off, and he spent his last few, sort of periods of his life developing these robots that would then take care of the library. And you're gonna go to this library and explore it. There's even talk of like very difficult decisions, like kind of, like making you make choices where people die and stuff. So
yeah, tough choices like the pit.
Tough choices like the pit, yeah. So maybe something like that. So if you guys are interested in checking that mod out, as I said, it's completely free right now for Fallout New Vegas. We'll have a link. You can head on over to the Tumblr page that has been set up for it by the developers. You can learn more about it. You can see where you can download it, and you can give it a go. Honestly, I mean, it's like, you can't ask for more if you're really just looking for more Fallout right now. While you wait for Fallout 4, there's a free mod that's said to have anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of content. And, I mean, I've seen some screenshots of it. It just looks cool. I love the idea of going to, like, a new location with a new miniature story inside of the Fallout universe. Definitely something I would strongly recommend giving a go.
Oh, yeah.
We also saw the release of the Fallout Anthology. If you guys weren't aware of what that is, it's basically a repackaging of Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4. Fallout 4, yeah. Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. Game of the Year editions for both of those as well. And it comes in a cool little, like, mini nuke. It's like $50. I mean, if you don't own any of the Fallout games and you're looking to get into Fallout, that's probably the best damn deal ever. Not only do you get all of the Fallout games on PC, I should mention it is a Steam version of it, so you will have to activate those games through Steam. There are actually people who are getting really upset about that, so be aware if you are anti-Steam.
Yeah.
All you're going to get is a nuke and a bunch of games that you can't actually use. But they're not sold out. I'm seeing it on Amazon right now for $49.96. It's actually marked down a little bit, so if you're interested in that, give it a go. I'd love to just get the nuke. I wish they would just sell that on its own, because it's cool.
Yeah.
Just make one out of foam. Just make one myself. Last and definitely not least, there is a brand new series that Bethesda started publishing on their YouTube channel. Kato, you brought this to my attention. It's already on episode 2. It is called The Team Bringing Fallout 4 to Life, and it's actually a series of interviews that were captured back at E3 that Bethesda is just releasing now.
Yeah, I think it might just be a 2-parter, but yeah, it's basically the main developers, the big cheeses of the team. Man, I'm not good at titles, but they're talking about how they developed Fallout 4 and the 10 years they've been working together in bringing basically Fallout to life, as the title suggests. So you got Todd Howard there, as well as 3 others that names escape me at the moment.
Yeah, there's like the head art guy, one of the dudes who's like level design, so probably some of the most integral members of the team who are really directing the creative flow of all of the other people that spiderweb out on the Fallout team. So I always love stuff like that. You know, I think it's funny because you see a lot of older like I follow a lot of older developers on Twitter. Some of them have this real retro, you know, like pro-consumer approach to everything. Like the consumer doesn't care how you made the game. They don't care about your, you know, trials and tribulations. But it's like, no, some of us actually do. We like that stuff.
Yeah, I eat it up.
So enjoy, especially when you're, you know, I mean, what better time to release it than when we're all sitting here, you know, biting our fingernails waiting for the release of Fallout 4. So.
Just waiting.
Just waiting. Just give us anything, and you know, we will definitely consume it if it passes the time to the release of 4. So pretty cool. I still honestly haven't finished it myself. Now that you mentioned that, I'm probably gonna go do that later tonight. Maybe watch it 3 or 4 times because it looks like there is some small pieces of footage leaked in there, and you know, we all could use more actual Fallout footage. So. It's definitely a good place.
I don't think I mentioned it to you like beforehand at any point in time, but there was mention of performance capture.
Okay, that's right. You and I were talking about this the other day.
That caught my ear when I was looking over the Bethesda videos at E3 and stuff like that. And yeah, Todd Howard had mentioned performance capture, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!"
Oh, you know what?
Keep doing that.
That's right. It all makes sense now because I remember I saw pictures of them with the dog that's playing dog meat.
Yeah.
In mocap. Okay, so yes, there's mocap dogs.
And I hope more than just dogs, but
yeah. I mean, overall, from what we saw, you know, the animations, everything just looked better. So, you know, hopefully it is, like we said, a great combination of, you know, mocap and then maybe doing some animation tweaking for things that just, you know, wouldn't make sense to mocap in a game like Fallout.
That's just one of the things that was badly needed. Whether you know, fans like to hear it or not, like you see Fallout 3, it's really clunky with all the animations with the characters.
Oh my God, dude.
In comparison to any other game that was released during that time or shortly after. Same with Fallout New Vegas. It was a little bit better, but it's still, you know, some stuff was just janky or not.
It's that never-ending sense of like floatiness, you know. Yeah. It's like that's the worst part about going third person in those games. If you enjoy third person, you know, is that everything's just kind of like this slow shifting floatiness.
Yeah.
As you walk through the environment, and you never felt like you were grounded, you know.
Yeah, and if you walk diagonally, you're still kind of moonwalking sideways.
Yeah, you know, Skyrim definitely did a better job.
Oh yeah, by far.
I do think they did mocap for Skyrim, did they not? I believe they did.
I don't remember.
Anyways, mocap, cool. Hopefully it makes the game better.
More of that.
Mocap melee. That's probably why the melee looks so fantastic now. They actually got someone to swing a baseball bat rather than just telling some guy to watch, you know, Jackie Robinson swing a baseball bat.
For that.
Try and put it in the game. So we've actually got one huge discussion topic for this week. And I feel bad, Kato, because I realized I just literally sprang this on you today. It was like, yeah, we're doing this big discussion on world design. But we're going to be talking about world design as it pertains to New Vegas, Fallout 3, as well as, of course, looking ahead into Fallout 4. We've got a lot of little subcategories on this, and I think the best one to start off with is to kind of set the theme here, and that's to talk about exploration. Because Fallout games, Bethesda games as a whole, if we're honest, are games that have excelled at, you know, asking the player to enter their world and then giving them a lot of reasons to go out and explore without direct communication from the game. I mean, a lot of this is sort of, you know, kind of small psychological things like finding collectibles and the nature of that, but a lot of it just comes because the game is so well designed and you understand that the sense of progression in a Fallout game is always just like, just walk in any direction, really. If it's not the edge of the map, and sometimes if it is the edge of the map, just keep walking and eventually something will happen. And I think that, you know, Fallout games, Bethesda games as a whole, they do open world so well when it comes to exploration. I mean, for me, when I look back to Fallout 3, and I know we were going to start talking about this before the video, and I was like, okay, I should probably save this. When I played Fallout 3, it was just like, okay, there's an objective, I'll go to that. And then after that, I was kind of just like, okay, what's over there? What if I walk 12 feet there? What if I just keep walking this direction, you know? And everything just kind of starts to link together. You find one location, and then you look at the map, and you realize, well, I can just fast travel back to Megaton. Let's just go a little bit further. And a little bit further, and a little bit further. And I didn't get to Rivet City. I don't think I got to Rivet City, man, until I was like 20 hours into Fallout 3. Because when I tried to play it the other month, I got to Rivet City in like the first 4 hours, and I was like, what did I do last time I played this game? Like, nothing happened the same way for me, you know? It's all very weird.
Yeah, for me, the exploration is, I told you a little bit about it already, and I will enlighten everybody else. When I first started playing Fallout New Vegas, I play it very differently from Fallout 3 because Fallout New Vegas has a much more broad crafting system than Fallout 3 does. So in Fallout 3, you have, of course, the schematics that you pick up for, you know, bottle cap mines, Deathclaw gauntlets, the railway rifle. But in Fallout New Vegas, you have the survival skill, which allows you to craft a amazing amount of food items that give incredible healing properties if you build the right ones. And then you have you get the Mad Bomber, which is part of a perk part of Gunrunner's Arsenal. You can make fat mines, which is amazing. As well as like microfusion. You can make grenades out of microfusion cells, which is really cool. But there's just an outrageous amount of things you can craft in Fallout New Vegas. So as a result, I pick up everything. Like not the sense that, you know, everything that is craftable. No, I pick up everything. So like whenever I would start a new game, I would of course do my level 1 implant rush for the intelligence implant, because I can't stop myself from doing it now. And then I would go, say we go to Prim and you go to the Bison Steve, I would go room to room picking up everything and stashing whatever I pick up in the trash can outside, and then taking what I want from it by the end, so that the entire building would be cleared out. and everything would be in that one trash can from inside that building.
It's hardcore. So for you, a lot of exploration was based on the fact that I see a building in the distance and I need to empty of it of all removable objects.
Pretty much. Or it was like, oh crap, there's a building in the distance. I don't have inventory space.
Well, that's definitely one way to look at it. It's like I never really got into the crafting system in Fallout New Vegas that much, and it was a part of me that regretted it, because I liked the idea, like you said, of creating all the food and stuff like that, but I never did it. And it was the same thing with like Skyrim as well. That was a pretty good system for actually being able to make consumables, and I kind of was just like, nah.
Oh, ammunition types too. That's a big one.
Yeah, I guess that was something that I did spend a little bit more time with, was actually, you know, doing the ammunition and, you know, breaking down other ammo, just because it was like, ammo doesn't weigh anything. You might as well have it, and then you might as well break it down and make it into things that you can actually use.
Well, yeah, unless you're playing hardcore mode, then it does.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you're playing hardcore mode.
Yeah.
Actually, that's probably why I didn't spend that much time with it when my first playthrough on New Vegas was hardcore mode. So maybe that has a lot to do with it too. Yeah. Do any of that stuff?
Knowing how much you can actually carry when many other things weigh things. Sorry about the siren in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, so exploration, obviously, as I fall over here, obviously a big part of everything that Bethesda does. Someone's getting arrested because they're trying to steal early copies of Fallout 4. That's
right. That's exactly what's happening.
And honestly, it's like no other game, I think, does exploration like Bethesda. Like we were saying, you know, there's a constant urge to go, like, see what's on, like, what corner of the map. New Vegas did it really great. Fallout 3 did it really great. And the big part of it, though, was that they always rewarded you. You know, I guess you could say for you, Kato, was the fact that you were going to have all these awesome pieces of scrap and stuff that you could then make more cool weapons out of. But at the same time, you know, we had unique weapons in both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, some of them which were just found in hidden locations if you didn't use a guide. You know, and then you also had the collectibles, like we were talking about, like the bobbleheads. So there was always a reason to kind of go to the different spots. But I think the biggest thing for me was when you actually got rewarded with a really unique situation, whether it be like a quest or an actual hidden area. And I always like to use that, you know, counterfeit cap shack in Fallout 3, because that's like super memorable for me. I don't even remember where it is on the map. I couldn't tell you. But it was like a random building that I stumbled upon. You went inside of it, and there was like a lock key thing. You went downstairs, and there was all these counterfeiting materials for counterfeited caps. And you could take the counterfeited caps. You couldn't spend them anywhere, sadly, because everybody recognized they were counterfeit, apparently. They didn't do a very good job at counterfeiting them. I'm pretty sure they actually had... I don't remember if they had a different design on them as well. But anyways, things like that. You know, it seems like such a small thing. In a way, I wasn't even rewarded as a player. I mean, they didn't give me anything when I got there. It was just like, okay, this is a cool spot. But I didn't get like a weapon or a piece of armor. I got a bunch of useless caps at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it was still like, it was enough to make me happy that I had explored, and then, you know, it was a reason to go and do another thing. And honestly, when I look at other games that have open worlds, it's like no one can touch what Bethesda does. Like, there are very, very few open world games that I actually care about exploring in. Like, I thought Dragon Age Inquisition was terrible in that respect. because every time I thought I was finally exploring something, it just turned out to be part of like the main quest. There'd be like a hidden like doorway in a corner, and I was like, okay, well that was just part of the main quest. I'd say that The Witcher did that really well. I know you didn't personally play The Witcher, Kato. Like I said, it's probably a good thing because I still haven't even finished it yet. But that was another game that was very much, it felt inspired by what Bethesda has done with New Vegas and 3, and going back even to, Morrowind and stuff like that. Like those were games that definitely were like, go find things that you're not supposed to find, and then we'll totally reward you for doing that.
Yeah.
So I know we're both looking forward to more of that in Fallout 4. I imagine everyone is. It's going to be cool to do it in a new environment now as well. I mean, we have still a wasteland, obviously, but I just feel like there's a lot of potential for really cool little creepy areas in Boston. I mean, you look at Boston as a city, even back then, and Boston's a very dense city, with a lot of like stuff in one small area. And they actually kind of talked about this in the team bringing Fallout 4 to life. They were saying, you go to Boston and you go up in the air in a helicopter or something like that, and there's so much you can see in one small location.
Yeah.
So it's going to be cool to see how all of that is sort of, broken up and spaced out inside of an actual game world in Fallout 4.
Todd was mentioning loading interiors too, like how many loading screens they tried to take out in order to like to maintain the ability for consoles and stuff like that to still properly load up everything. But yeah, the way he made it sound is a lot of things, like, well, how we were talking about last time about things proportionate to the wasteland, like buildings in particular. Most of the time, buildings are scaled down no matter what game it is, because there's a loading screen between you and the inside of the building. But now, like the way that Todd Howard and, well, how the settlements are going to work, how he was explaining it, that a lot of the buildings you can just walk right in.
That's going to be just awesome to have that feeling. Like you said, it's like, you look at Fallout 3 New Vegas, you go into these locations and they're like super tiny from the outside, but then inside and you're like, oh my god. It's like the TARDIS for every single building you walk into.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're very, very small.
That's been a staple for games forever.
It has.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that's driven me crazy. And I think when people talk about like what is like next generation technology, it's small stuff like that for me. Like, stop making our buildings the size of a lunchbox, and then when we get inside, it's the Empire State Building. Like, make them appropriate.
Yeah.
And, again, remove loading screens, like you said. I mean, the ability to go inside of a large building like that, and to be able to, walk in through the front door and then jump off the 3rd floor or something and still be all in the same instance is wonderful. I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see how many load times we actually end up having then for, maybe the larger cities that are more like barricaded off. We'll see load times for. That would make sense. That would just be smart design, I guess, to cut down on, again, like we were saying, limitations of.
I was just hoping it's not like the New Vegas Strip.
Yeah. That you know what, that made that really confusing to figure your way out in as well. Even like 100 hours into the game, I was like, where the am I? Like, how do I get there from here?
Yeah.
It was always freaking confusing. And it was like, if you came out by the gunrunner's place, or the building what the robot was, it was like, what? Like, how do I get to the actual strip again? Like, I was always just completely turned around in that place. It took me forever to find everything.
Yeah. The strip open, Fallout Nexus. I'm gonna idly promote that.
There's a mod for that. I wasn't aware of that. That's
cool. Yeah, you can take out the dividers. That's what I use.
Also, that like that maybe adds some components when you think about it from like a combat standpoint as well. We've got like open environments. Maybe there's more room to draw targets out, or maybe even to eliminate targets that are inside of a building. Like throwing a grenade through the window, something that you didn't get to do very often.
Well, they showed that a little bit. Yeah, they showed what was it? You're like the
they were on that scaffolding and like whipping grenades on the side of the building. That looked insane.
And it was and the explosions were actually knocking the paneling off, which was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of potential once you start removing loading screens. That's gonna be very, very exciting. Damn, man, it's gonna be weird. Like, that's probably one of the biggest parts of Fallout, actually, is like the loading screen became kind of like recognizable. Like, you walk up to a door, listen for the sound effect, door opens. It's like, that's gonna be interesting to see that all get taken away.
We'll see how much.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much, that's for sure. That's one of the things we've seen like so little of. Like every time we've seen gameplay, it's been very cut and dry scenes, and a lot of it's been more open areas. Like we haven't actually seen, like apart from that guy like throwing the grenades in there, what else did we see? We saw him engage like a dude in power armor, but he was like more of a quarry type environment, so it was already opened anyways. That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. That's one of those problems that doesn't make sense to me because I'm not a game developer, but it's like you make so much crap that is on the outside of the world already. What's the difference if you make interior crap that we can actually just walk into? But obviously, it matters somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, think about like the LODs they use too for like Fallout 3. It's extremely noticeable, like when something phases in higher detail than the stuff in the distance.
Yeah, which is
like that's the workaround for open world games. Like it always has been. Now Metal Gear Solid 5 does it, and I notice it every single time because
that's probably why
so to Fallout 3 and stuff.
Yeah, that's why No Man's Sky is such a big deal. What Hello Games and stuff is doing. Sean Murray's like, well, it's not really there until you go there, but it is always there. And everyone's like, wait, what? Why are you a genius, and why does no one else know about this? Why hasn't anyone else thought of this?
Well, Spore did. Well, sorry, Maxis did, but they didn't pull it off as well as everybody hopes.
Yeah, well, I mean, exactly. No Man's Sky, we haven't even played it yet. We'll have to see how that all goes. Hopefully that's one of the situations when it's like, okay, if this is successful, everyone else, ask him how he did it, and then put it in your game, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you can use this same sort of thing in a non-procedurally, generated world, then I don't see why you wouldn't. That would be genius. They're essentially streaming the game to the player through math. Like, that's just... Crackdown's trying to do that with the new Crackdown. They're using like the cloud, and they bring more servers online the more you blow stuff up. Because Crackdown 3 is going to be a complete open world, and everything can be destroyed. And they demonstrated, and it's all like cloud power. So it's like, okay, it took down 2 buildings. Now I'm going to take down 7 buildings. Well, no, you're using 12 servers. So it's like, yeah, we'll see how that all pans out. Speaking of all of that, we have the idea of travel then. Like, not just, fast travel, but... in the past, Fallout's been nothing but walking. Like, that's all we've ever had. We've seen remnants of motorcycles and, imaginations in all of our heads and terrible mods of motorcycles.
The highwayman making a return, only to be a location of a highwayman that's sunk into a sinkhole.
Yeah, sadly no vehicles. It's one of those games you always thought, like, mounts would at some point become a part of Fallout, like they did with Elder Scrolls. We would have horses or something like that, Brahmin. Like, how cool, right? Now that you have these settlements, we already know that you're going to be able to set, there's going to be like convoys and stuff like that between the settlements, but what if you could have your own Brahmin and you could like pack it up with stuff and have it follow you around?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to organize caravans between settlements.
Yeah, they said that, so I'm sure that it'll just be a mod. There's somebody will make a mod and you have a Brahmin that follows you around.
Or ride a mole rat.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it never made sense to me that we didn't have some sort of mount system in the Fallout games. I mean, not that walking is such a terrible thing in Fallout. I mean,
well, we will have a sprint button now too, which is so needed.
Yes, that's like, not having sprint is archaic. It's funny because you get that like when you talk about first-person shooters, competitive games, there are people who are like, sprint makes it Call of Duty, and it's like, whatever. All we know is in the RPG world, we need a frickin' sprint button. No one just walks around all like, I'm being shot. Let me put away my weapon so I walk faster.
Yeah. Well, they brought it in Skyrim because, well, if you're getting attacked by a dragon, you're not going to just jog.
Yeah. let me just unequip my weapon so I can jog a bit faster. Yeah, that's going to be much appreciated. I almost forgot about that. So obviously the same thing in New Vegas and Fallout 3, we just walked everywhere. But now in Fallout 4, we have this tease of the vertibird and actually being able to get inside of it. Of course, in terms of its ability to actually allow us to travel from locations, it's all speculation. But you and I, like we were saying, probably going to be similar to like Metal Gear Solid, Maybe there's just specific locations where the vertibird can take you to and from. At the same time, when we see him call it in the trailer, he does appear to throw a smoke grenade and then he's just picked up. So it's like, what are going to be the limitations from where we can be picked up from? Where can we be taken?
Can we call airstrikes?
Can we call airstrikes? Yeah, exactly. Apart from us getting inside and gunning it down. Well, was that Was that in the standard game, or was that a mod that I'm thinking of where you could call in a vertibird as an airstrike?
That was a mod.
That was a mod, right?
But there was certain spots in Fallout 3 where vertibirds would fly over. Like once the Enclave made their presence known, like some spots the vertibirds would fly over and drop like 5 mini nukes as they were flying over.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. It's just the Enclave being a bunch of dicks. That's
yeah,
what it was.
pretty much.
No surprise there. So yeah, I'm interested to see how far they're going to take the whole vertibird thing, because there seems to be like a lot of the things that have existed in Fallout up until now, they kind of are getting, we're getting this huge expansion. Like power armor is much bigger deal now. You're going to build your own power armor. It's like, I think it'd be cool, you get to the point where the vertibird's like almost your own little thing, and you can, throw some emblems on it. I mean, you already have the settlements. I don't know how far they're planning on taking that, but
can I say something about the power armor crafting really quick? I got to bring it up though.
Yeah.
So when I don't have the screenshots anymore, dang it. I had them. Anyway, they had the classic, they were showing it for split seconds, like showing like the amount of customization for your power armor. And I did notice that they had basically all of the power armors that have existed, along with a couple more. So they had the classic Enclave advanced power armor, but you saw it for a very short time. It was like, I think it was like X01 or something like that. But yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
So that's either showing that maybe the Enclave are gonna be there, or maybe we're just going to have access to the power armor. We don't know.
Because it's like, I mean, it's supposed to take, like, we know it's it's in Boston. Do we know, like, I still haven't wrapped my head around an exact time frame. I mean, it takes place, how many years did they say after the bombs dropped?
I don't.
It was like a significant amount of time. What did we say? It was like 10 years or something. But isn't it supposed to be still, it's along the same time frame as Fallout 3?
It's supposed to be a continuation of Fallout 3. So it'll either be very close to the same time of Fallout 3's events, or after. I think. I hope. Because I just did the replicated man quest in the Fallout 3 playthrough, and they give you a lot of information on the Commonwealth and the Institute and stuff like that. So I would recommend anybody looking for like more callbacks or possible things that they've done in Fallout 4. Yeah, play the replicated man quest, listen to or find all the holotapes that you can from doctors and such, and yeah, get to learn about and of course talk to Pinkerton and Zimmer and get all you can out of them.
Suck 'em dry, man.
Yep.
Oh, so that'll be, that's gonna be exciting. I mean, obviously, I think the vertibird was they showed it off in a very small amount in all the gameplay that we saw, but the basics we know is you can get in it, you can shoot stuff from it, and that's it. So it's gonna be nice to finally learn how that all works. I can't help but feel this is like the one time Bethesda is really, there's a bunch of stuff that we're just gonna have to learn, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like they showed off so much when they revealed it, at their own little E3 thing, that you kind of felt like, okay, we kind of got a bit spoiled here. When are they going to show us more? But it's like, the game's like a month away. They're probably not going to show us too much else at this point. We're just going to have to figure it all out for ourselves. Which
they've been showing us the special videos, which is great. Pretty entertaining.
Showing some of those off. We still have that whole perk tree then that's kind of just to be discovered. So
yep,
that's nice.
A lot of perks.
It feels like an old school game launch for me at this point. It's like we got our first taste of it. They've done some small stuff along the side, but the rest is going to be up to us. It's just way too often now where it's like everything is, here's everything 2 months before launch. Like, this is it. This is all it's going to be in the game.
Yeah.
Like, no surprises left for you. And that's not fun. I'm not into that. That's why I've been thinking about this all day long, because a bunch of people got to release footage for the Battlefront beta, and I'm kind of like, what I'm sick of? Even though, I may become one of those people who makes a living, 100% off of YouTube at some point, I hate exclusive reveals for YouTubers and the press. I've always been somebody who's just like, no, it's just, like, we're here to make entertainment at this point. I get the idea of reporting on things that aren't even released yet, but once there's like something that's about to release in 4 days, none of this whole like they got to play it a week before you let them release all this footage thing. Just give it to us all at the same friggin' time, man.
Yeah.
Just like give us all Fallout 4 the same day and let everyone play it. And I just, yeah, I hate that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I would say though, like the only reason that you know, I contacted In Exile about the Wasteland 2 Director's Cut wasn't for, you know, playing it before everybody else. Yeah, that's going to happen, but to create guides in a timely manner so that they can be released alongside the game.
Yeah, you know, it's like there's no denying the benefits of, as you know, somebody, especially a smaller, you know, smaller channels like ourselves, like getting early access to things. It does, you know, help us grow.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, the people who actually get all of the early access are just the channels who already, you know, don't need it. They have 3 million subscribers and they still put clickbait titles.
Or they get early access and they don't even bother.
Yeah, you know, it's like it's just I'm so much more for the we the people, you know, thought process. Like that's the consumerist side of me. You know, I'm usually pretty equal between the game developers and the consumer, but at that point I'm just like, no, just consumer, let us play it. Stop with the teasing. Stop showing the press, you know, 3-week early footage of Doom when the game doesn't come out for like another year and a half. Just show it to everyone the same day. So Fallout's very much been like that, I'll be honest. You know, apart from that conference that they're just releasing now, which is just a thing, you know, it's like they showed up at E3 and they're like, everyone gets to see this, here's the footage. And all the stuff that the press saw behind the closed doors was like the same thing, and they were all upset about that. And we're reading articles like, well, it was really the same thing you saw. I'm like, good, good.
That's how it should be.
It's exactly
how
how
it was their
be.
plan all along.
Yeah, Bethesda, man, keeping it. They just, yes. Todd Howard, Bethesda, we love you. Keep doing things right. No, something, damn it, I just completely forgot about it. We brought it up towards the end, or towards the start of that, and you totally triggered my memory on something I wanted to talk about, and I completely forgot about it now. So it's just gonna have to wait until I remember it, like 6 months from now. Oh, what were we talking about? It was actually a really good idea. Anyways, that's what I get for not making a bullet point for it.
That's okay.
We'll move on from that. So,
but what about the differences between New Vegas and Fallout 3? Like the major environmental differences. Like the obvious one is different developers.
Yeah, 2 people's different levels of design. You know, it's like that's actually a good point, because when I think about Fallout 3 in my head, I feel like I can make connections to like the locations and how I travel to them. But when I think about Fallout New Vegas, it feels very flat to me in my memory.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like the first initial part of the game I always remember, but like after that, I feel like New Vegas had a lot. It had a lot less large locations. Like you had the Strip, but outside of that, like what else was? I didn't feel like a lot of the other locations felt really substantial.
Yeah, when it came to like urban or suburban locations, it wasn't as dense as the Capital Wasteland, and that's probably what got people, you know, more interested in Fallout 3 over Fallout New Vegas. But yeah. What Fallout New Vegas did do though was even though it was flat and had, you know, a lot of desert, because you're in the desert, it had a lot of locations that varied depending on locations, not just, you know, population, like human population wise, but other things, like say you know found this little shack or abandoned farm out in the middle of nowhere, and you would like get ambushed or something like that from some vipers or find what was it called before Cottonwood Cove, Camp Searchlight. Oh yeah, got nuked.
Right. That's like Fallout New Vegas for me. It's so hard to remember things out about that game, and I don't know why. Like Fallout 3 feels so much more ingrained in my memory, and even though like Fallout New Vegas, if someone mentions something, I remember it. When I try and bring up all the locations in my head, it's like I start to just meld New Vegas and 3 together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, that was New Vegas, not no, that was 3, that not New Vegas.
But I think the orange/yellow filter had an effect too, because they had less of a filter than they did in Fallout 3. Like, you know, there's the green filter in Fallout 3, like wherever you are, it doesn't matter. There's a green filter to everything. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas was more, I guess it made it a little bit more brighter, Like you know that it was like stifling hot most of the time and stuff like that. So, and
yeah,
survival,
they did capture that very well.
Survival needed to be focused on once in a while, especially if you're playing hardcore mode.
Hardcore mode.
Yeah.
I do. Now, the more I think about New Vegas, it's like I start to kind of string everything together, and I do remember. And like you said, there was actually some, you know, obviously 2 different locations, but it's like, you know, their core sort of concepts for how they're going to create the world was like, you know, here's like a key location, so you have like the strip, and then let's surround it with, you know, smaller, more important locations. And then as you fan out, it kind of opens up. There's a lot of dead space, and then, you know, then spread out, you know, outside of there. It's like going from the city to the, you know, to the suburbs to like a rural area almost.
Yeah.
You know? And all while still maintaining.
Yeah, they had that. They had that
Vegas.
variety too, like with the expansions. Like Fallout 3 did pretty good with their expansions, like Broken Steel. It was great, you know, to continue the storyline and stuff like that. But I really liked the expansions for Fallout New Vegas. I wouldn't say a lot more, but they were a lot easier to tell apart.
Yeah, they felt
because
like
they all had a different theme, and they also all had a different filter. Like you play Old World Blues, the filter's blue.
It took you to new places, you know? Like, I mean, Fallout 3, I mean, it did, but I don't know. I felt like Point Lookout was the only place that felt like a substantial new location in Fallout 3's, you know, DLC.
Yeah.
I would say the Pit too, you know, but again, the Pit and the like Operation Anchorage, they felt like very confined, just specific locations that you were visiting. They didn't feel like a whole new area. Whereas, you know, obviously with New Vegas, with the first expansion, I can never remember the name of it. You know, with the dude and the gun and the bandages.
Honest Hearts.
Yes, Honest Hearts. Sorry, I can never remember the name of the expansions. You know, that just felt way more, like a substantial place. And then you also had the, when you went to the casino, you know, when everybody trying to figure out why everybody was brought there.
Dead Money, the Love or Hate DLC.
Yeah, Dead Money. It was like that. See, Dead Money was like, to me, that was, I don't understand the Love or Hate, honestly, because it was like, maybe if you didn't like what you had to do when you were there, but that was a seriously atmospheric location.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Like, it felt like something, I mean, it almost had this, it had a very, you know, sort of horror feel to it. Like something out of like a Saw movie.
Yeah.
Like, you've all been brought here.
And it was harsh when you first went there, so.
I remember spending like 3 hours at one point in the same location, like trying to figure out like where I could go next. You know, it was just like, yeah, parts of it definitely were very rough.
And it's probably the hardest one to navigate too, because of the, you know, the depth of the buildings.
Yeah,
multiple floors and stuff like that, or having to go upstairs in one building to go downstairs in another. Yeah, it was a pain to navigate too. So.
I guess I can when I think about it, I can see why people didn't like it.
Yeah,
but you know, the atmosphere and everything won me over.
Won
me over for sure. It was really enjoyable. Oh man, so yeah, I mean, I guess it's just gonna be, you know, how does 4 expand on all of that? How do, you know, like we said, a lot of the stuff that just in the environmental design, I think is going to improve all those areas. And it's just like, you know, hopefully they can make a lot of interesting locations. And at the same time, we're going to get to make our own, you know, with the with all the outposts and things that we're going to be able to create. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be very cool.
The settlement thing, I'm excited and scared of myself.
Yeah. I mean, that starts to get like there are very good reasons that people, when Minecraft came out, spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, because it's the idea, like, you know, you're just going to build your own stuff, and your creativity, you know, is going to basically, it's going to restrict it's going to allow how much time you can spend with something. And for me, like, when I think of the settlements, I think of what I did with my friends in Minecraft, which is, let's build our own town, let's build an underway subway system that, you know, links us to the other side of the map for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, let's just do all this, and that's all I can think of when I think of, you know, the settlements in this is like...
That was me with Spore. When Galactic Adventures came out, you're just like, oh, you can make a planet to have adventures on? Cool. And this planet can contain all of your other creations if you want.
Yeah.
But you have to make them first.
That's going to be crazy. I mean, like, you're going to get to the point you're going to build your first settlement, And then all of a sudden you're going to be playing the game and you're going to find this other settlement on the other side of the map. You're going to be like, this would be the perfect place to run a convoy to. Let's build another one. And then run a trade convoy because they have this and we'll have these. And then there's so much, you know, of an allure besides just building a settlement. We know that that's going to attract like special weapon vendors. They're going to have special pieces of gear. Like,
yeah. I'm just hoping unique weapons aren't too common with those vendors, if at all.
Or at least they're difficult to attract them, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll see how they all channel that out. All right, so that covers it. I guess in terms of what else are we playing, I finally played Bedlam, which was a really enjoyable experience. So that was cool. It was actually funny because I ended up putting up a video for it before we released the podcast. So me in the podcast saying I had never played it probably seemed like I was a big fat liar, but I actually had never played it. Till later that day after we recorded the podcast, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm still thinking about it. I was actually upset because my computer crashed the other day and I lost my save progress, and I was actually kind of doing well. And then I started over and I literally died like 20 minutes in on the next playthrough, and I was like, yep, I had a really lucky playthrough before.
Oh, you'll get those. Don't worry.
But really enjoying it. There is definitely a lot of text. And... yeah. You know, the first like 4 hours I was playing the game, I was like, I love this. And now that I've spent so much time like reading to myself, I'm kind of like, damn, I wish they had voice actors because this would probably be even better. It's just everything is like read, and then there's a piece of combat. It's like I'm okay with it. It's just I get to the point where I'm skipping stuff, and then I feel bad that I'm skipping stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't care. I can't read another 6 paragraphs to talk to one person. So I'm kind of iffy on that whole thing. But overall, I really enjoy the game. The combat is like the most disheartening combat system ever, though, because it's like you just know you can only make those 2 moves. And half the time, I'm like, well,
it's like
goodbye,
when you know
sniper.
When a unit's gonna die.
Yeah, you know way in advance. Like on the new playthrough, I played that boss who has like the giant hammer guy. I don't even know if the bosses are random. Anyways, he's got a big ass hammer.
Yeah, the elite.
He runs at you and smashes it into the ground. So I'm just like, well, here's the plan. My sniper is gonna stay as far away as he can, and I'm gonna expect him to kill everything. Because otherwise, there's no way I'm gonna survive this, because these guys are all gonna get one-shotted if they go within range.
Yeah.
So at first, I prioritized his 2 little, like, drone, you know, his 2 little henchmen. And I killed them, but by the time they were dead, the only person left standing was my sniper, as well as one of my front men with, like, the shield.
Yeah.
And then I moved my sniper away to take a shot. I cracked the guy with 1 shot, and I'm like, he's totally gonna kill the person with the shield. Like, she was sitting right next to him. No, he rushes my sniper and kills him.
Yep.
But luckily, at that point, he had 1 health left. So I just walked up to him with my shield person and was like, boop. And I killed him, and now he's on my team. But I lost everyone to get that 1 guy.
Yeah, to get elites, you may have to sacrifice your entire team.
So that's a bit sad. So we'll have to see how good that guy is. I'm intrigued to see how good he is.
He is pretty good if you level him up a few times.
And you know what? I just thought of something. I was just talking to Kato before the stream. I was like, damn, dude, you know what? I subscribed to IGN Prime, and they just sent me a key for Bedlam, and I just bought it. And there's probably someone in the audience right now who would really like a copy of that game. So I have one of those keys, and if you guys are interested in picking up a copy of it, it is a Steam key. Just let me know down in the comment section below why you want to play Bedlam, and I will pick somebody from random. We'll put some names and a hat. I'll get on my motorcycle, we'll throw the names into the air, and then hopefully a pigeon brings it back to my house like 2 days later, and then that's how we'll decide. That seems like a very unbiased way of choosing a winner.
It does.
So yeah, if you want to check Bedlam out, I do have one of those keys just kind of chilling. I have no use for it. If you guys would like to, let me know down in the comment section below why you'd like to play Bedlam, and we'll give it away to someone at random. Apart from Bedlam, there's some stuff coming up, I guess. You know, I've still been playing the crap out of Destiny. I'm like ultra addicted to that. Wasn't there a new Warframe expansion that's coming out as well?
Yes, there was. 17.5.
So what's going on with that?
The Jordan's Precept. Section. It's introducing a new Warframe, new boss, a lot of additions to the Arcwing system, and I'm so glad they did. Because at the start, like, the Arcwing was really cool, like when they introduced it. For any who don't play Warframe, the Arcwing is basically an extra addition to your Warframe. They wear it on their back, and it's basically just kind of a set of wings, and you can fly through space in it. And you have, of course, Arcwing weapons like massive, you know, swords and guns and stuff like that. It's think of it as like Gundam. That's basically what you're doing in space. And they introduced the golem. They reintroduced the golem boss. So now you have a new boss to kill and a new warframe to get called Atlas. He is known as the Earthbender frame. And specializes in punching things. He has the biggest neck muscles you will ever see. Like, his neck muscles are bigger than his arm and leg muscles. It's ridiculous.
It's just a lot of neck days.
They have a very unique art style in Warframe. But then also lots of word of Trinity Prime being the next Prime, and a lot of screenshots. So me as a Trinity player, really excited to be able to get my girl upgraded. Not looking forward to how many times I have to upgrade her, but
the game's just had an absurd amount of updates, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow, actually, as well, I think they're saying they're going to start rolling it out slowly, the updates to your Metal Gear Solid, but those of you who are actually interested in Metal Gear Solid 5's online component, that's going to be going live starting tomorrow at 3 a.m. EST, 12 a.m. if you're on PDT, and they're going to roll it out, so not everyone's going to get the update at the same time. They're trying to probably stop the servers from crashing. I saw some stuff on that. It looked cool. The only problem was they actually played it in Japan, and no offense to Japan, but in America, when we show off a competitive style game, we grab professional players and they can play it highly competitively. It doesn't feel scripted, and it's actually, in my opinion, a great way to show off the game. Like, that's cool. When you see Halo 5 for the first time, you're like, oh, that looks awesome. Can't wait for that game mode. But then when you saw Metal Gear Online in Japan, it was like, okay, number one, I don't understand what the hell they're saying. Number two, a lot of people are dressed up as really naked characters, which I understand is an okay thing in Metal Gear, but it just felt weird. And then there was like no sense of teamwork. It was like this, I know this is a team-based game, but everyone's just running around. There's people trying to like trank people. I'm just like, what is happening? This does not look like the Metal Gear Online we saw. So I'm excited to give it a try for myself. I actually am looking forward to doing some like guides and stuff for that. I don't know. Metal Gear Online back in the days of MGS4 was like super cool. So I'm hoping that this is you know, a pretty cool experience. So if you guys are interested in that, your Metal Gear will start updating, as I said, starting at 3 a.m. EST. You can expect your updates sometime after that. So if you want to leave your console on or your PC on so it auto updates while you're at work, I would definitely recommend doing that. And then moving into Thursday, we have the Battlefront beta, which is going to be open to everyone on all of the next generation platforms, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I think you can preload it on Origin. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to finally play that because Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars, and we've heard a lot of bad things about it. There's some stupid things that EA and DICE are doing that I don't agree with, like no server browsers on PC as well. So to finally just play the game and hope that there's some sort of semblance of savings there, savior, like the game is going to be all right, will be a really great feeling. So if you're interested in checking that out, like I said, Thursday at the same time. If you don't have any time to play it, there's like 6 billion YouTubers that have like 6 billion videos of the game from a press event, so you can go watch that as well. And I think that's it.
No, I got one.
What are you playing?
Wasteland 2. I have been playing Warframe, but Wasteland 2 Director's Cut is coming out in less than a week when this podcast comes out. So keep an eye on it if you like Wastelandy games and CRPG format type games. It's even if you don't, it is so good. Like just the vanilla game that came out on PC last year. But Director's Cut is going to be available on Xbox and PlayStation as well. So, and full controller support. They redid the entire UI just for controllers for the consoles.
That's right. I totally forgot it's coming to console. That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. And yeah, hopefully, Kato, you're going to be doing a bunch of guides for that, so you guys should definitely check out his channel. If you realize you're playing the game and you suck at it, which I'll be honest, a large majority of you probably feel that way because the game's actually kind of difficult, at least when you first get going. So
it'll kick your butt.
Don't feel
here's
bad.
A pro tip: get Angela Death on your team.
There you go. You heard it from Kaido. Okay. So that's it, I think. I mean, we're gonna probably have a lot more stuff to talk about. What else we're playing? So moving to holiday season, things are gonna get crazy with that. Yeah. But of course, I mean, October's here, fall is here. That's awesome. But honestly, the big thing for us over here on the PIPCAST, of course, is Fallout 4. So you guys are gonna be wanting to stay here because there's gonna be lots of awesome stuff happening. Not just with the PIPCAST, but also, of course, Kato and I are gonna be doing lots of insanely dope. That's right, I'm using the word dope. Fallout 4 coverage on our channels. It's gonna be that good. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for all that stuff. And now, I want to mention something. Every single week on the PIPCAST, we feature a piece of artwork, not just in the video, but also for our thumbnail. And I always forget to mention the person. Well, this week, I didn't pick it out before the PIPCAST, and I usually don't, which is why. But I strongly recommend that you guys always take a look in the description. You'll also notice that the name of the person whose artwork is featured will be listed under the topics section during the course of this podcast. We always want to make sure that we, pay the dues forward for the artwork that we feature. Lots of awesome Fallout fan stuff out there. It's never difficult to find something for the PIPCAST. It's always difficult to decide which one I use first, though. So, maybe if you're an artist and you actually want to send some cool Fallout artwork our way, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at TonyMo034, or you can go ahead and just DM me directly on YouTube. Send me a message, send me a link to your artwork, and we'll see if we can't get it featured on the PIPCAST, because I'm always looking for stuff, and I know that a lot of it's probably not that easy to find on the internet. Some of it's going to always take priority over the other stuff. So if there's anything you'd like to share with us as an artist, have it featured on the show, as I said, hit me up on Twitter or send us a DM right on my channel. That's going to do it for episode 4 of the PIPCAST. An entire month of the PIPCAST has gone by. This has turned into something pretty awesome. Looking forward to it growing, looking forward to a lot more cool stuff. And of course, Kato and I are both looking forward to the launch of Fallout 4. We hope you guys will stay with us. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.